Bitcoin almost at a new all-time high. Ethereum made an all-time high. Solana made an all-time high. I think Avalanche, AVAX made an all-time high. It's like Oprah out here. You get an all-time high. You get an all-time high. You get an all-time high. The market is looking incredibly bullish. We're going to take a look at a whole bunch of charts and all the news that is driving said markets today. You don't want to miss this. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, Wolf Pack? I am Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. And if you don't mind, just take the back of your pen and drop it onto the like button. I just liked my own video with the back of my pen and even opened the pen. Pen's open now. Pen's open now. I hope you guys had as wonderful of a weekend as I did. Hope you guys had a great time and are enjoying the price movement of this market right now. Coming out of the weekend, started off very, very strong at the daily close. Never fails that we get daylight savings time here in most of the United States. We fall back. Meaning that, at like 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, it becomes 1 a.m. We all gain an hour of sleep, and the time for the daily close on the charts and all the 4-hour closes and candle closes completely changes. So now it's at 7 p.m. here instead of 8 p.m. Always messes me up every time. What else messes me up is my children waking up at 5:45 in the morning as if it's just time to go. Daylight savings time is a scam. It's meant to torture parents, and it needs to go. It needs to go. It's bad. It's bad, and I hate it. The good news is I was up early enough this morning to feed the hogs and till the fields and to hand plow my front yard because I'm a farmer. And daylight savings time is for people like me who need to farm. That said, now that you know my feelings on daylight savings time and all these all-time highs, let's take a look. News, markets, daylight savings time is a scam. You guys are agreeing. I agree. It's BS, right? Of course, agree. Oh, those kids, Roger that. Yeah. I love that. People are like, oh, it's the best. You get an extra hour of sleep. Oh, that's like 7 people. It was also the worst night to DJ, always daylight savings time night, because at 2 it would become 1 and you had to work for an extra hour. Nobody paid you extra. Anyways, let's dig in. Ethereum hits new all-time high. Bitcoin inches toward record as cryptocurrencies rally. This is CNBC. This is on all the major news sites. Fox, we've made it, guys. We're totally mainstream. You read about Bitcoin everywhere. It's part of the news cycle. It's amazing. Detractors be gone. But here you go. We know ETH hit an all-time high. Bitcoin 7% rise to 66,250 is cut back a little bit, almost to the 66,900 high. And all of this come amid ongoing incitement around DeFi or decentralized finance. I don't know if what DeFi literally has to do with this article at all, but I just wanted to give you the general context. First, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Then we'll dig into a few more things. Here, of course, we have the weekly chart. A couple weeks ago, we had this ugly shooting star candle, had people calling for $10,000 for Bitcoin to go to negative 7,000, for us all to die a fiery death in the hell of Bitcoin dying. But alas, there were rational voices that said, weekly candles, good luck playing those. Also, you need confirmation. Well, we had this spinning top the next week, which more indecision. But confirmed this wasn't necessarily a top, but more indecision. Well, this candle, while it looked bad until the last couple of days, pushed up and kind of confirmed the bullish trend was still intact, right? That made this spinning top more of a reversal after this to head back up. And now it's only not even 1 day into the week, but we're pushing through the previous all-time high towards the newer all-time high, which we can go ahead and add a line right there. $66,999. Yeah, we're looking at some altcoins, and I have another stream later this afternoon where we'll look at a lot of altcoins, obviously. Digging into the daily chart, posted this yesterday. It was on the 4-hour when I posted, actually, and we were like here, and I was like, we flipped the 50 MA coming up to resistance. Well, look at that resistance flip, right, on the daily. Perfect. We had this descending resistance, very clear. split the day right there and absolutely pumped from there. Massive. And Bollinger Bands, I've been talking about this quite a lot as of late. An indicator I've sort of come back to that I liked more in my youth as a trader, but they can give you very good signals for confirmation and confluence with other indicators. Well, obviously we had moved to the top half of the bands, pushed up. I told you the bands topped out here, right? I said, look, the band is flattening. That's where we got the retrace. Ultimately held the center line here, but now the bands have gotten really, really tight, right? And when the bands get really, really tight, that means volatility is incoming. Because when that started to happen, we were trading in the top half. I said that volatility was most likely going to the upside. Well, now you can see the bands are starting to widen a bit here. If they continue widening, this should ride the top band and continue up. That's what I'm looking for, y'all. Ethereum gas fees plummet while prices soar. There's been a sharp drop in Ethereum's trading volume over the last week. Probably a lot of excitement about other coins. You know, Ethereum just kind of boring at the moment. No, that's not true at all. It's actually pushed to new all-time highs. And the gas fees were absolutely absurd last week. So this is only in the last few days. I don't know if you saw, but it was like $300 to send some Ethereum last week. Well, now it's down to, you know, the low price of like $120 or something last time. But it's reduced a little bit of the load on the network. This is a good thing. And we know that fees rise and drop all the time. And there's plenty still to look forward to from Ethereum. But I would say, if you're trading right now, take advantage of these lower gas fees with Ethereum still sitting right around an all-time high. Hash rate is surging. Prices are down a bit. Let's take a look at the chart. Obviously, we saw a bit of a drop on Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the move yesterday when Bitcoin started to pump really, really hard at the end of the day and into the daily close and right out of it. But actually, Ethereum, Bitcoin bouncing kind of nicely and really not dipping that hard. But what does that look like on the ETH USD chart? Well, it looks like the line that I drew. I've been doing a lot of drawing of random blue and squiggly lines. And coins have been just following them. I'm not saying that like I have a crystal ball or that I can see the future or that I'm basically Chartstradamus, but maybe. No, I'm not. I get lucky sometimes. But yeah, when you draw bullish patterns in a bullish market, things tend to follow it. Well, here you go. You had this perfect retest. Yep. This is how you get stopped out right here, right? This is a sweep and then continuing up. All the candles closed above the previous high at 44.61, and we are pushing up almost at 4,800 already today. Pretty absolutely bananas. Speaking of all-time highs, you get an all-time high. You get an all-time high. Solana. Another all-time high, $260. $260. Sam Bankman-Fried told a dude to sell him all his Solana in January for $3 and then fuck off. That is epic. But here we go. Solana sets another all-time high this weekend. We don't even need to dig into all the reasons or what Solana is. We all know at this point, and we all know that the Solana conference, whatever the hell it's called, is happening in Portugal, where Solanese things happen. Portugal is renamed Solanagal. But yeah, they're having a conference over there. Obviously, a lot of bullish things happening. They'll be announcing a lot of new projects and a lot of new things launching. Yeah, so Solana just continues to absolutely rage. This has kind of been the trade of the year, honestly. Solana Bitcoin did the thing. Look, okay, this one got a little out beyond the line. If I do this, it looks a lot better, though, right? Yeah, pretty much did the thing. Got front run on the retest. So now I would say, obviously, if you're trying to trade this and catch this bit of a falling knife, you know, maybe right in here is your new support. So maybe you catch it here, if not down here. But ultimately, this should be heading back up to the highs of 0.00467. Solana on USD, I mean, nothing but flips, right? And every single flip, it comes right back down. Retest, continues up. Right back down. Retest, continues up. Maybe you get another retest of 216. If you do, you buy it. I think you just want exposure to Solana. You want exposure really to all the bullish layer ones, I think. But look at that chart when you zoom out on the daily, right? I mean, right here at the very end of last year in December, it was $1. $1 whole dollar, $1, $1. I want my $2. Anybody know what movie that's from? $2. Anyone? I'm waiting for somebody to get that movie reference. It's a little kid. He's the paper boy. Comes to the door, $2. All the paper boys get together on their bikes and they chase the main character. None of you know. I'm not going to tell you. Not going to tell you unless anybody gets it. Just not going to. I want my $2. Anyways, here we go. Who's got it? Nobody's got it. Better off. Thank you, Connor McNuggets. Better off dead. Better off dead. Incredible movie of the 80s. BOD. Not No Country for Old Men. Here you guys are rolling them in. People think it's Home Alone. All the Better Off Dead people got it. Not Paperboy. Yeah, Better Off Dead. Great movie. John Cusack. The dude Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. They do skiing. He skis the K-12. Becomes an epic Giga Chad. Goes home with the foreign exchange student from France. Cryptocurrency market cap paints new all-time high above 3 trillion. Holy shit, crypto's worth $3 trillion. This is according to Coingecko. The chart does not show it hitting 3 trillion, but Coingecko says that it has, and therefore we shall say that it has it. The total market cap has increased 8.4% over the past 7 days and 25.5% over the past 30 days. 25.5% over the last 30 days, market cap has increased. Holy God, we're so rich. We are so rich. Since the beginning of 2021, it has surged a whopping 284% from 775 billion on January 1st. January 1st of this year, the total market cap of all crypto was $775 billion. And now we are at 3 trillion. If you need to look at that, obviously you guys know that I used to have the cup and handle drawn here, but your dirty minds thought that it looked like a totally misaligned and out of proportion genitals of a male person. And so I had to draw it like this because you guys have sick minds. You guys are the ones with the sick minds, not because I drew it like that. Well, you can see just making all-time highs basically every single week here now, pushing straight up, market cap, massive $3 trillion market cap. You guys are the ones with the dirty minds. It is not me. I just draw things. It was a very clear cup. You could see the steam coming out of it. It was coffee. Now in less bullish news, and look at this picture. Does that inspire confidence? House sends infrastructure bill with crypto tax provision to the U.S. president. I don't think Biden's going to be the one to bail us out here. The vote passed with bipartisan support on Friday night. If you guys recall, obviously, I'll give you the lowdown here, right? We had the infrastructure bill that passed the Senate, right? Senators Loomis, Toomey, they tried to amend it in the first place because there was dangerous language for crypto about who would have to report what transactions, basically calling even miners and all these people, treating them as if they were brokers, meaning they would have to report a whole lot of transactions. Well, that bill ended up passing because an old guy from Alabama said, I want more defense spending. I'm killing the whole thing. So the amendment that had been agreed on basically died. It went to the House. They passed it. Came back to the Senate. They passed it as is as well. Unfortunately. So we know about all those provisions, but there's also a different provision here that a lot of people are freaking out about. I don't think it could be enforced, but this is pretty terrifying, to be quite honest. Here you go. Another provision included in the bill to amend tax code section 6050 LI has also stoked fear in the crypto industry. The law, written nearly 40 years ago to apply to in-person cash transactions over $10,000, essentially requires recipients to verify the sender's personal information and record their social security number, the nature of the transaction, other information, and report the transaction to the government within 15 days. Unlike other tax code violations, these are a felony. And some lawyers have pointed out that applied to cryptocurrencies and other digital assets like NFTs, the law could be nearly impossible to comply with. Jail time, a felony. If you send or receive $10,000 in crypto, which a lot of us do basically every day, $10,000 send or receive in crypto, and do not report that transaction within 15 days and the social security number of the person who sent it to you, right? As an individual. So when we were all talking about the fear of this, it was the fear for the industry and killing innovation, all these things. Well, now there's the potential that all of us who live in the United States and ever receive a transaction over $10,000 could be committing a felony for not asking your friend over on the other side of the world to send their, who by the way doesn't have a social security number, to send over their social security number, and then you have to report it to the IRS that it happened. Mind you, assuming you're a tax-paying citizen and a rational human being, you're reporting these anyways. Right? At the end of the year, I take into Zen Ledger and all these platforms and my lawyers and my accountants, and it takes me fucking forever. I take every transaction I've received and I mark them as what they are. And I report them and send them all to the government, which is so funny, by the way, when people accuse anyone who's in America and pays their taxes of like pumping and dumping or scamming or any of those things. You're literally sending every single transaction to the government on purpose, right? So you could never do those things. But imagine if every time you received any money of a sizable, someone made a payment to you, anything like that, literally just transferred it, that you had to ask someone for their social security number and go report to the IRS. First of all, the IRS is woefully understaffed. I can't imagine this will ever happen. We're still waiting for the Treasury Department to actually give clarification on how this will be interpreted and received. So we can obviously be hopeful that they're rational and know that they don't have the man hours to pursue this. But this is potentially extremely, extremely dangerous. I ain't no felon. I ain't no felon. I'm telling you, I'm paying my taxes. I'm reporting them. This is absolutely absurdity to the highest degree. JP Morgan spinoff Kadena hits all-time high after rising 210% a week, 40% overnight, and 200% in the last 7 days. I never even heard of this shit. I'm reporting it because I never heard of this shit. And it's funny, then you read of it, and it's like, okay, I've heard of it, KDA. I've seen it, but I didn't know anything about it. What's funny is they're calling it a JP Morgan spinoff, but it's just two dudes that used to work at JP Morgan. I'm not hating, but that is a woefully misleading title, right? You read this and you're like, wow, man, I didn't know that JP Morgan like spun off a whole department into crypto. No, like two dudes quit JP Morgan and are like, crypto's awesome. Jamie Dimon's a dick. Like, I don't want to do JP Morgan anymore. I'm going to do Kadena, right? But either way, this coin is pumping out of its freaking skull. Another Ethereum killer, competitive layer one solution, claiming that they do a staggering 480,000 TPS transactions per second thanks to use of braided chains. Last time I used a braided chain was like 2003 when I wanted to be Run DMC, and I had a huge gold chain that was like a rope and it was braided like that. That's what I think of when I think of braided chains, because I'm an old person who likes rap, but they're braiding chains to make transactions really fast, right? Anyways, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, this has nothing to do with them. It's just some guys who work there. That's fine. That's great. They probably know exactly what they're doing. I just think that's a misleading headline, but let's take a look at the chart. I mean, God, do you need to see anything else? What's interesting, people will go, it's a cup and handle, like it'll whatever. A rounding, I'm not drawing that for you degenerates, not drawing it. But a rounding bottom's different, right? A rounding bottom never handles. It just keeps on going. I can show you my favorite one, because most of you were here with me. You know that we traded E-Gold Elrond when it was ERD from 15 sats to 300, sold. Then it came back as E-Gold, and this is what it looked like. All right, take a look at KDA. Take a look at Elrond. See, just keeps going. If you were with me, you were in this under 10 bucks. Keeps going. That's what you can expect from a chart that looks like this. Although it's already broken the key levels and is starting to get towards targets. But Kadena looking absolutely insanely bullish. You can't really mess with a rounding bottom pattern like that. Extremely, extremely, extremely bullish. Bueller. NYC Mayor-elect Adams says crypto should be taught in schools. I believe we have a video. I haven't seen it yet, but let's see. I see it here in my stream. Let's go. See what he said.
A tweet that you sent out this week that you're going to take your first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. Would you encourage businesses in New York City to accept Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency?
We're going to look at it and we're going to tread carefully. We're going to get it right. But there's something else that I wanted to send a signal. This city was the empire state. We made empires. Now we are destroying empires every day. This is the center of innovation, self-driving cars, drone development, cybersecurity, life sciences. And so when I talked about blockchain and Bitcoins, young people on the street stopped and asked me, what is that?
Can you
what
explain
is it about?
in 30 seconds what it is?
Bitcoin is for the kids. That's what he's saying, like Wu-Tang.
As for people who don't know, can you tell viewers who aren't really sure what Bitcoin is?
Even the experts will have a challenge doing that. The cryptocurrency is a new way of paying for goods and services throughout the entire globe. And that is what we must do. Open our schools to teach the technology and teach this new way of thinking when it comes down to paying for goods and services.
I have to ask you about something that a former top economic advisor, Jason Furman, for Obama said. He said that not only is his bad economic strategy for New York City, it's a bad investment decision. And he said it's like the mayor announcing, I'm going to buy Amazon stock and then put in place policies that benefit Amazon. What's your response?
Well, I respect his opinion, but notice that I'm using my personal money. I lost thousands of dollars in the stock market during the stock market crash in my retirement fund. Volatility is part of some of the investments that we make. And so he has his analysis. I have my analysis that I want to make sure that this city become a center of innovation, no matter what that innovation is. And this is what the human spirit is about, not being afraid to look at every area of innovation as we move our country and city forward.
All right, okay. There's so much to parse in this, dude. I discussed this last week. So basically, I'm telling you, this guy, Eric Adams, I think this is great. He's taking his paychecks. Now the mayor of Tampa is taking her paychecks in Bitcoin for a while. We got some dudes out in Tennessee. It's starting to be a thing for mayors to take their checks in Bitcoin because they realize that the crypto community is a political force and they can do this to get some votes. Let's be real. But like he's made some woefully like inaccurate and kind of like questionable statements about what Bitcoin is. I mean, was that really your best explanation of what Bitcoin is? It's like you can do payments and it's global. And I'm in the Dominican right now, and I can do the payments with the Bitcoins. I can do the payments with the Bitcoins. It's going to be great. This guy saw Francis Suarez, was like, oh my God, that guy is getting like international attention as the mayor of Miami, talking about bringing innovation to Miami and taking his paycheck in Bitcoin. He's like, I want to do those Bitcoins too. I'm going to do that. Right. He doesn't get it. This is a PR stunt, but at the end of the day, it's very good for us. And I applaud the fact that he's willing to do it. But I mean, come on, man. Come on, son. Like nobody believed. We do believe Bitcoin should be taught in school. But even if you're not going to teach Bitcoin in school, maybe just teach like basic financial literacy. Like, I don't know, tell kids about inflation and what money is, as opposed to never teaching them anything about their money so they can get them woefully in debt when they go off to college and have them as debt slaves for the rest of your life. But that's what they want. They're not going to start teaching Bitcoin in school. Let's be real. It's like for payments and you can do the globals. And it's a cryptocurrency with the cryptos. Right. Michael Saylor and Max Keiser explain the potential benefits of Elon Musk converting Tesla shares to Bitcoin. Okay, if any of you missed this, you couldn't have possibly missed this. But Elon Musk, in the most giga-chadly move I've ever seen, maybe, much is made lately of unrealized gains being a means of tax avoidance. So I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock. Do you support this? He put it to Twitter. 3 million votes, put it to Twitter whether he should sell 10% of his shares in Tesla. Okay, of course his shareholders are pissed. This dude can rock the market, obviously, with a tweet, and we know that. But he went on to say, listen, all my money's in shares. I don't take a bonus. I don't take a salary. Everything I make is in shares of Tesla. So if you're going to tax my unrealized gains, I talk about this all the time, how am I going to pay it? You're going to tax $100 billion. Guy's going to owe $40 billion in taxes. How do you propose that he's going to pay those taxes? Can't pay it in stock. You have to sell stock. Rocks the stock market, crashes the market. Mess with the bull, you get the horns. Well, people supported it. And he went on to say, I will abide by the response to this and do it. So in theory, he should be selling 10% of his stock. Going to be interesting to see what happens there. But it illustrates how absolutely absurd it is, the idea of taxing unrealized capital gains. Because then they have to realize the money to pay for those taxes. And I bet you're not going to let them write off their unrealized losses. Let's be real. But of course, we have the Keisers and Saylors of the world who jumped in and said, here's Saylor. If the goal is diversification, an alternate strategy to consider is converting the Tesla balance sheet to a Bitcoin standard and purchasing $25 billion in Bitcoin. That would deliver diversification, inflation protection, and more upside for all the investors in a tax-efficient manner. I love Michael Saylor. But guys, not everything is about Bitcoin. Elon Musk did not send this tweet so that he could hear all of us give his opinions on dog coins and memes and Bitcoin and try to convince him and sell him on something that he's been sold on. Elon Musk long ago bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even Doge, both personally and with his company, Bitcoin, right? I think he gets it. We don't need to sell him anymore. My God, we don't need to sell him anymore. And then, of course, Max Keiser comes in. Max Keiser, who thinks that everything is a scam. Let's pray Elon follows up, sells his Tesla stock, moves the proceeds into Bitcoin, and kicks off a global rout in these Potemkin stock and bond markets that are killing us with malfeasance, kleptocracy, and hyperinflation. Big words. Big words. I like Matt Keiser. I think we need maximalists, but come on, man. Come on. It's not going to happen. Bottom line, what I wanted to tell you guys is that Elon Musk trolled the entire market, the entire government. And of course, because we're self-interested, we jumped in and said, this is about Bitcoin, right, bro? But it's not. It's not. This is just him, like when he sent that tweet, a couple of years ago, said, I finally found out what the SEC stands for, and the E is Elon's. You know what that means, right? I like that. You guys are like calling names over here. I like Max too. I've said this before. Listen, I would never be a maximalist. I don't support the idea of maximalism about anything in the world, literally about anything. But Bitcoin maximalists have gotten us where we are, right? It's their conviction from the very beginning, their belief when everybody told them that they were crazy. That is what has driven the Bitcoin market to where it is. But when you want mainstream adoption, you can't hate on everything that slightly violates your core beliefs, right? I mean, I don't even understand the argument still really at the core between Bitcoin and Ethereum maximalists. It's like being like, I love gold, I won't buy Amazon. They have nothing to do with each other besides the fact that they're on blockchains, right? Just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that what's good for one of us is good for all of us. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you should cheer for Ethereum to go up because it's good for the whole market, right? It's good for the entire market. But anyways, guys, Elon Musk, we will see if he sells 10% of his shares. Unrealized capital gains are ridiculous. And I can almost guarantee you that he won't be buying $25 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's all for this morning. But of course, guess who's back? Back again. I will be back. I will be back this afternoon. Be back 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to figure it out. We'll probably do the top 10 coins, look at them, and then see where we go from there. I don't know. I never know. Last week, we did the metaverse coins. I will come up with some concept of something that I want to look at, and then you guys can kind of just follow along. That's what I like to do on Monday afternoon. I like to be like, what do I want to look at and figure out what's going on with? And then you guys can just kind of hang out and come along with me. That's right. Yeah, you're supposed to be a gajillionaire because you said something about listening to Maxis. Well, it doesn't work that way, guys. Yeah. You trail about girl around the outside. Yeah, go around the outside, around the outside. Pump it up, guys. Pump it up. I will see you guys in a few hours. That's in about 3.5 hours. We had the time change. It's messing everyone up. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is an hour earlier than it would have been if it was like 2 days ago. Market looks bullish. Don't do anything stupid. I will see you guys later.